Om Sri Saram. Good morning, each and everyone, and Saram to Sai Brothers. Today we are discussing on about sources of Indian story. History is the record of past events and achievements of man through the ages. But these events or achievements cannot be replied or reproduced. Historians try to reconstruct the past based on the available sources. Hence, no sources, no story. Discovery, collection, and interpretation of sources are the greatest challenges to the historians. Without sources, the historical events will become imaginary or legendary stories. So, the sources of Indian story can be classified into two groups. First one, archaeological sources. Second one, literary sources. The important archaeological sources are coins, seal, jewelry, inscription, land excavation, household articles, terracotta figure, fossil, weapon, etc. And second one, the literary sources. The recorded records are books of the past. It is called as a literary sources. Totally, the Vedic texts were composed in Sanskrit. The Vedic literature is belongs like as an of religious literature. Most ancient Indian texts contain religious theme and these are known as the Vedas. They are assigned to 1500 to 500 BC. The Vedic literature is broadly divided into two categories like Shruti and Smruti. First one, Shruti, that was aired. Shruti literature was initially transmitted orally before it was finally written down. It is considered authoritative, canonical, eternal or divine, and unquestionable truth. So, Vedas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and Upanishad together form the Shruti literature, and it makes the central canon of Hinduism. And second one, Smruti. What is remembered, supplementary, and may change over time. The entire body of classical Sanskrit literature is Smruti. Smruti including Vedanga, Puranas, Upanishad, Agama, and Upangas. These are all considered called as a Smruti literature. The next, first one religious literature that is known as the Vedas. Vedas are four in number. Rig Veda mainly consisted of prayers. Other three, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharvana Veda, contain prayer rituals, magic, and mythological stories. The Upanishad contain philosophical discussions on Atma and Paramatma. They are also referred to as Vedanta. Totally, Upanishad it means to sit down near someone. They denote students sitting near their guru to learn. They specify philosophical knowledge and spiritual learning. And next one, the two epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, seem to have been finally combined by 400 AD. Of the two, the Mahabharata is attributed to sage Vyasa. It originally consisted of 8,800 verses and it was called Jayagita or a song dealing with victory. Mahabharata later got expanded to 24,000 verses and came to be known as Bharata because it contained the stories of the descendants of one of the earliest Vedic tribes called Bharata. A further expanded version of 1 lakh verses was named Mahabharata. Similarly, the Ramayana of Valmiki originally consisted of 6,000 verses, then later 12,000 verses, and was finally expanded to 24,000 verses. Later, in the post-Vedic period, we have recorded a large number of ritual literature on moral values called sutras, like Aranyakas. Aranya, it means forest. Aranyakas were written in forest for the hermits and students of the Vedas. Totally, more stress on moral values. They form a bridge between karma of Brahmana and Jnana of Upanishad. And one more religious literature known as Dharma Sutras. Dharma Shastra or Sutra. Dharma Shastra consisted four Dharma Sutras. The first one known as the Dharma Sutra, second one known as the Gruhya Sutra, third one known as the Shrauta Sutra, fourth one known as the Sulabha Sutra. Dharma Sutra, it means guidelines to a line of dharmic life. Dharma Sutra, it means guidelines to line of a dharmic life. Gruhya Sutra, guidelines for family life. Shrauta Sutra, guidelines for performing rituals. Sulabha Sutra, mathematical principles for construction of various altars. So later, grand public sacrifices to be performed. Rulers are recorded in Shrauta Sutra, while domestic rituals connected with birth, naming ceremony, and sacred thread, marriage, funeral, etc. are prescribed in Gruhya Sutras. And other religious books of the Jainas and Buddhists refer to historical persons and incidents connected with their respective religions. The earliest Buddhist texts were written in Pali. They are called Tripitakas, three baskets: Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. Of the most important non-religious Buddhist literature are the Jatakas. They contain the stories of the previous birth of Buddha. It was believed that before he was actually born as Gautama, the Buddha passed through over 550 births, each birth story called Jataka. These stories throw invaluable light on the social and economic conditions of the period between 1st and 2nd centuries. So next, Jaina monks have also produced rich literature in Prakrit and regional languages, especially Kannada and other languages. Anga and Upangas are the religious text of Jainism. The important Jaina scholar like Ajita Senacharya, Vidyanandi, Gunabhadra, etc. Totally, it also contains the philosophical concept of Jainas. These are all important. The religious literature of sources for the Indian history. Apart from vast religious literature, Indians have also produced secular literature in the form of biography, drama, works on history, polity, science, Ayurveda, and yoga, which focus on the various aspects of the existing society. This category of literature does not have religion as its theme. To this class belong the Dharmashastra or the law book, which prescribe the duties for different social groups. They set out punishment for persons guilty of theft, murder, or adultery, etc. The earliest law book is Manusmriti. It was the first book translated by the British and formed the basis of Indo Code of Law. Arthashastra of Kautilya provides rich material for the study of Indian economy and polity of the Mauryan period. Kautilya is one of the very important and greatest statesmen of Indian history. And works on grammar are also sometimes useful for historical reconstruction. The earliest and most important work on grammar is the Ashtadhyayi written by Panini, which is dated by scholars to around 700 BC. Next one, the works of Kalidasa, who lived during the Gupta period, comprise poems and dramas. The famous among them Abhignana Shakuntalam, Ritu Samhara, Meghaduta, Vikramarosya, and others. Totally, Kalidasa called as a Indian Shakespeare. Besides being great creative composition, they provide us with glimpses of social and cultural life of the Guptas. For the history of Kashmir, we have an important book called Raja Tarangini. It was written by Kalhana. Biographies or charid are very important non-religious text for writing history. It is a first historical writing sources of India known as Raja Tarangini written by Kalhana. They were written by court poet in praise of their patron ruler, as there is a tendency among them to exaggerate the achievements of the patron. They have to be studied with caution. One such important text is Harsha Charita, written by Banabhatta in praise of Harshavardhana. And later one more, the earliest South Indian literature is called Sangam literature. It was written in Tamil and is secular in nature. It was produced by poets who joined together in assemblies, Sangam, patronized by chief and king during the first 4 centuries of the Christian era. The literature consisted of short and long poems in praise of various heroes, written probably to be recited in the court. It also constitutes the epics called Shilappadikaram and Manimekalai. So, the Sangam literature is our major sources for the study of South Indian society, economy, and polity during 300 BC to 300 AD. And other secular literary sources are known as Bilhana, written the work Vikramanka Devacharita, Vishakadatta, Mudra Raksasa, Patanjali, Ashtanga Yoga, Aryabhata, Surya Siddhanta, Charaka, and Shishuta Samhitas. These are all different other secular literary sources for studied and about Indian stories. And one more, the important sources of historical study known as foreign account. Totally, India had attracted many foreign traders, students, pilgrims, and philosophers along with invaders. But many of them left their record, impression, and opinion about India. The important foreign writer known as first one, Megasthenes, one of the Greek ambassador, writing in his book known as Indica. Ptolemy, geography, Pliny, natural historia, and trio, pilgrims of China, Pahian, Williamstown, and Isting. And along with Muslim writers and historians also have given valuable contributions. Important among them Firdausi, Shahnama, Babar, Babarnama, Jahangir by Jahangirnama, and Abul Fazl written Akbarnama and Aini Akbari. So these are all different availability sources of studied on about Indian history. Today class is over. Jai Saram. Thank you.